Randall Kolumuani, Dom Solanke, Richarlison, Matisse Tell, Wilson Odebear, Brennan Johnson, Mohamed Kudus, Xavi Simmons, and even the likes of James Maddison and Dejan Kulusevski to be added to this Tottenham Hotspur attack. On paper, this attack looks really, really solid, but when you actually watch Spurs games, especially of late, it flatters to deceive. If you clicked on this video, you read the title, we're talking about Tottenham Hotspur's attack. Because when you look at it, like I said, on paper, it looks really solid. But when you start to peel back the layers and have a deeper look at this Tottenham squad, especially how they play, it's not looking too hot. Now, of course, there's many circumstances around this. Is this more of a time thing? Is this more of a tactics thing? Or does the attack just suck? But I'm here to break that all down in terms of how we can look to fix this attack, whether or not maybe they just need to gel together, or if Thomas Frank has to tweak some things, and potential additions that can actually unlock this attack. But before you watch this video, I want you guys to let me know down in the comments below of what you rate this attack at right now. So pause the video, comment below, and let me know what you guys think of the attack right now and what you would change or what you would keep. Comment below. And you all already know the drill. Like the video, subscribe, comment. I haven't been as active on my channel as of late. It's been super duper busy in my life, but I'm back with another upload for you guys. So be sure to smash that like button and subscribe as we are on the road to 2K. So I cannot thank you guys enough for all the support, and let's get right into the video. Okay, so the 5 categories that we're going to cover when I'm breaking down the Spurs attack is goal threats, top creators, top dribblers, most consistent, and then our locked in starters. That's 5 categories that I will be breaking down throughout this video. So let's start with our goal threats, and this one's a little bit interesting. Unfortunately, our most consistent or top goal threat is Brennan Johnson. Yes, inevitable Brennan Johnson. So last season, Brennan Johnson had 18 goals and 7 assists in 51 games played. And we all know Brennan Johnson is the king of back post tap-ins. So Brennan Johnson is our most consistent goal scorer. He rarely goes 5 games without getting a goal. If you put it back to his first season at Spurs and his second season, so last season, and now even this season, he's already on 3 goals this season. So Brennan Johnson, even though he's so ineffective, this guy just keeps on scoring goals. So he is our top goal threat player. Second on the list, and this actually might surprise you, it's Richarlison. Now, when I read out these stats, it's not going to blow your mind, but Richarlison had 5 goals and 2 assists in 24 games played. However, when you look at his goals per 90 minutes, he's actually one of the best strikers in the Premier League, which is crazy. Richarlison's goals per 90 minutes is actually very high in the Premier League, and he doesn't get a lot of minutes, but when he does play a consistent 90, he gets a fair amount of goals. So he's second on the list for our most consistent goal threat. And then the problem with Richarlison as well is it's just keeping him fit. If you can keep Richie fit for an entire season, he's going to bag you a bunch of goals. Probably at least 10 to 15, I would say. But it's just about keeping us fit, and that is what he has struggled with for the past couple seasons, or almost since we bought him, to be honest. And after that, it's Dom Solanke, 45 games played, 16 goals, 8 assists. So Dom Solanke kind of flattered to deceive last season overall. But when you actually read out his goals and assists, I mean, bro, that's over 20 goals and assists combined. So that's not half bad. And that's in all competitions, by the way. That is in all competitions. But the thing with Solanke is that the things that he brings outside of his goals is very valuable to this team, and we're seeing this right now with the way that Spurs are playing. We need someone with the ability to do very good hold-up play and link-up play, and Dominic Solanke is probably our best striker in the squad for that exact role. In terms of linking up play and holding up play, Dom Solanke is probably the best in the squad at doing exactly that. The only thing that Dominic Solanke needs to do a better job at doing is taking these first-time shots. The problem with Dom Solanke is that he's not a striker that can get you a goal from outside the box. He's not a striker that can just release one out of nowhere. For some reason, Dominic Solanke feels the need to dribble with the ball for bare minutes, bro. For bare minutes, and then has a shot. He holds onto the ball for way too long before he decides to shoot. What we need from Dominic Solanke is him to grab the ball and have a shot right away. Enough holding onto the ball for so long, enough dribbling with it. Just grab the ball, have a shot. We need more of that from Dominic Solanke. And I think this is actually what Richarlison is fairly good at compared to Solanke. Whereas Richarlison get his shots off really quickly, whereas Solanke has got to freaking get the shots off faster. I don't know why he feels the need to dribble with the ball or hold on to the ball for so long before he has a shot, especially when he's in the box. Sorry, that's like a little bit of like a Solanke rant there. But bro, I'm not hitting on him, but that's what he needs to work on. And if he can work on that, then he'll be such an amazing striker. And also, this is more so down to the system. We need more service for Solanke aerially. Dom Solanke is a very good aerial striker, and last season Ange's system did not play towards those strengths of Solanke. We pretty much wasted his ability aerially, so I'm looking towards Thomas Frank this season to get the best out of Solanke in the air. And we can see it for what he tells his wingers to do. Thomas Frank tells his wingers to grab the ball and cross as many balls in as you can, both on the ground and in the air. So I think if we get a bunch of balls in the air, if we get a bunch of balls in the air to Solanke, I think he can bag a bunch of goals for us there too. Same thing with Richarlison as well. So we have two good aerially strong strikers. Next up on the list, I have Kolo Muani, and this is 36 games played in all competitions, 12 goals and 4 assists. Mind you, this was spread over multiple leagues, but yeah. I mean, with those stats, you're not really breaking up the entire world with that, but it's not half bad. And to have 3 strikers, even though Richarlison hasn't bagged 10 goals, I think Richarlison's capable of bagging 10 goals plus. To have 3 strikers that are all capable of doing that is pretty good striker depth. So with Kolo Muani, I haven't watched too much of him, I'll be honest, but with Kolo Muani, it's just up to him to see how he gels with this team and how he thrives in the system. But of course, the news that just came out over the past couple days is that Kolo Muani is dealing with a dead leg. He has a dead leg injury. Mind you, this is a guy that has missed only 2 games due to injury before he joined Spurs. But now he's missed, 2 games now due to injury? Bro, the Spurs curse is real, I am telling you. And I don't know what is up with this medical team, but this needs to be fixed. It is a problem. What are we doing? What the hell are we doing? But yeah, man, Kolo Muani, same thing, has to stay fit, has to get consistent minutes. He can also play on the right. I hear people saying he can play on the left, but I'm not for that. I don't think he can play really too well on the left. I think he's much more of a striker / right winger. So when it comes to Kolo Muani, I think that for him, it's just a matter of competing with Solanke and Richarlison and getting consistent minutes and then just bagging goals, bro. Running behind. This guy is rapid. Kolo Muani is rapid, man. And I think out of all the 3 strikers that we have, I think Kolo Muani has the best finishing ability. So for me, that's what sets him apart from the other 3 strikers that we have. But overall in the squad, he's 4th on the list for our top goal scorer. All right, then let's talk Xavi Simons. So Xavi Simons in 33 games last season had 11 goals and 8 assists. Obviously, he's a number 10 / left winger, so we're not really looking to him to get a whole bunch of goals, but it's nice that we have a number 10 that can get us some goals. So when it comes to Xavi Simons, he's 5th on the list, and the thing that's very key for Xavi Simons is his ability to get goals outside of the box. If you look at the top 4 that I listed previously to Xavi Simons, being Brennan Johnson, Richarlison, Solanke, and Kolo Muani, none of those guys can really bag goals from outside the box. However, when you look at Xavi Simons, he's one of the few guys that we have in this squad that can actually have a proper shot from outside the box, which adds another layer of threat and dynamic element to this team. I don't know what the hell happened there, man. But yeah, so Xavi Simons is going to be crucial, and I think for Thomas Frank, we've seen him at left wing compared to the 10 now, and when it comes to Xavi Simons, I think he for sure needs to be starting in the 10. When Madison comes back, when Kulusevski comes back, we'll have that discussion around where exactly each should be playing. But for me right now, Xavi Simons needs to be playing in the 10, as I think for his assists and especially his goals and his ability to shoot balls from outside the box, I think he's our best player when it comes to doing that. But overall, on the list, I have him ranked as the 5th top goal threat. And then the last one that we have on the list is Mohamed Kudus. In 35 games last season, he had 5 goals and 4 assists. So when it comes to Mohamed Kudus, he's not really known for his goal threats. So for Kudus, he's not really going to be looked at to get the goals and assists in this team. However, I want Kudus to find that goal and assist ability, because I think if he can find that, he's going to easily announce himself as one of the best right wingers in the Premier League. I already think he's up there, but for me, he has to find the goals and assists to be considered as one of the best right wingers in the Premier League. This guy's dribbling, and we're going to come on to that, but this guy's dribbling is genuinely world class. So for me, if he can find those goals and assists and become a consistent threat when it comes to that, he will easily be one of the best right wingers in the Premier League by far. So now let's talk about the top creators. For the top creators, I have Mohamed Kudus, obviously. I don't need to go too deep into this. Mohamed Kudus, this guy creates bare chances for Spurs. He already has 3 assists this season, actually. So Mohamed Kudus, pretty much all of our attack right now is running through him. So he's by far our top creator. Then after that, it's Xavi Simons coming into this team, our only natural number 10 that we have right now, with Madison and Kulusevski both being out. Xavi Simons, no monologue there either. This guy, his ability to carry the ball, run through the midfield, and pick off a pass, his quality on his pass, his technical ability, he's by far our second best creator. Now third, I have Wilson Odobert, and this is where the drop-off comes very far. The drop-off from Kudus and Simons to Odobert is massive, bro, and this is a big area in our squad that I think we need to improve if we actually want to see us be a consistent threat on attack. When it comes to Wilson Odobert, he's very young, he has a long way to go, but with Wilson Odobert, I think that he has the ability to put in a good cross, a decent cross at least, and when I look at the rest of the squad compared to Richarlison, Mawani, Matisse Tell, I think Wilson Odobert is next up on that list when it comes to creating. And I can't even big up him too much because we haven't really seen him create on a consistent basis, but you can kind of see what he's trying to do. It's just that final ball that needs some tweaking in the final third. But like I said, the options are very slim, so that's actually why he's third on this list. And then, of course, the last one that I have here for top creators is Dom Solanke. So our striker, rather, being a top creator is not something that I had pegged on for this list. When I was actually looking at the attack and what we have in terms of options, Dominic Solanke came out to being the one that I was like, okay, I think he's fourth on the list. For a striker, he's actually a fairly good creator. I think his ability, like I said previously, to link up play, lay off a ball, and his actually through ball that we saw a lot of the time last season, his ability to drop deep and give a nice through ball, it's actually pretty underrated. So I think fourth comes Dom Solanke in terms of our top creators. But this is one area that we definitely need to address in the January transfer window. I think, and we're going to come on to this, but I think if we get a top left winger who can create, then our attack will have a lot more creating. And then let's go on to our top dribblers. So again, number 1, Mohamed Kudus. Like I said, one of the best dribblers in the world, one of the best dribblers in the Premier League. I'd say his only competition is Jeremy Doku. But yeah, for me, Mohamed Kudus is our best dribbler. This guy has the ability to go inside and he can go outside. He's the only one in this squad that's actually willing to stare his fullback in the eye and beat his man. He doesn't care who it is, he's going to take on his man regardless. And if he doesn't get it, if he messes up, he's going to go again. So Mohamed Kudus is relentless and he's our best dribbler in this team. Mohamed Kudus has also had the most successful take-ons in the Premier League so far this season as of today. And then next up on the list, and this is again kind of a little bit of a drop-off, but then I have Xavi Simons. Now, Xavi Simons isn't really known for his dribbling style. He's a good ball carrier, but I think in terms of his dribbling, it's a little bit different when it comes to Kudus' dribbling. Kudus is a guy who wants to get past his man, embarrass his man, and he does it with flair. I think Simons is a player that is more of a logical dribbler, if that makes sense. Whereas Kudus is more open and free. He can pull anything out of his bag of tricks. Xavi Simons is more technical with it and more scientific with it, if that makes sense. He's not going to dribble just to dribble. He's going to dribble to lead to a specific outcome. So he's not exactly going to beat his man on a consistent basis, but he's going to be able to carry the ball through a bag of players through that midfield. So I have him second on this list for our top dribblers in the squad. After that, we got Wilson Odobert. Same thing. The drop-off is immense. To be fair, I don't think Wilson Odobert is a bad dribbler, but I think he has a very big bias to wanting to go outside. If you watch the game today against Doncaster, there was 1 point, actually 2 points where he tried to take on his man. Both times he kind of just did like fake step overs, and he just went outside. Both the exact same move, and he hasn't really got the bag of tricks that Mohamed Kudus has got. So he's an okay dribbler. I think with time and hopefully growth in coaching, his dribbling can be refined to be a lot more threatening and unpredictable. But as of right now, he has a huge bias to want to go outside. But I actually don't think that this is a big problem. I think that this gives us something different compared to Mohamed Kudus, which I'm all for. Now let's talk about our most consistent attackers, because I think this is very important to how we're going to actually decide our starting attackers for this team going forward. So most consistent for me so far has been Mohamed Kudus. Man, Mohamed Kudus has just taken every single #1 rank in this list. But for Mohamed Kudus, I don't think I've seen a single game from where he's actually played horrible. Maybe against Bournemouth was his worst game, but to be fair, even in that game, he was the only one that was actually still willing to try something. Yes, it wasn't coming off, but you could see what he was trying to do when he actually had the intent. So for me, Mohamed Kudus has been the most consistent throughout the team this season. Next up on the list for most consistent is Brennan Johnson, man. Listen, this guy is the most frustrating player I've ever watched. There's genuinely no other player like Brennan Johnson. For me, he is our most consistent goal scorer, and a talent like this when it comes to consistent goal threat is very hard to come by. And even though he's so ineffective for a majority of games, there are specific games where his talent and skill set becomes a very big asset. And we saw it today in Doncaster, where as if teams are playing high lines, get Brennan Johnson out there, because if there's proper players on the pitch who can get a through ball to him, he's going to score 9 times out of 10. So I think he actually has a very valuable skill set within this squad to be able to be a consistent goal threat for this team. After that, we got Dom Solanke, and then when I look at Solanke, he's not really consistent for his goal threat. It's more so for his ability to just be an all-around link-up striker. He doesn't really ever put in a horrible performance, but for him, his worst performance is probably like a 4 or a 5. At best, at worst, he's average. So when it comes to Solanke, I think he's very important to doing the dirty work for this team, very important in terms of linking up play, and very important in terms of pressing and doing a lot of the dirty work that a lot of players aren't usually willing to do. So for me, I have him third on the list for most consistent. Third on the list, we have Xavi Simons. Obviously, there isn't a large sample size when it comes to Simons for Spurs, but I mean, for what we've seen of him so far this season, he hasn't been horrible. He's had some really good games, to be fair. I look at the Brighton game where he came on and changed the game completely, but overall, I mean, he's been fairly consistent, especially against Doncaster too. I think he had a decent game, didn't do too much. He was invisible at times, but same thing. His worst performance is usually a 5, and his ceiling is so high. So for him, I have him at 4th in this team for most consistent. And after that, we got Richarlison, and I think with this, it's not more so of him being inconsistent. It's just more so of the fact that this guy cannot stay fit. So for that reason and that reason only, that's why I have him so low, because he cannot stay fit. But if he can stay fit, then he's going to shoot up this list, because if you look at his goals per 90, like I said before, he gets a lot of goals per 90 minutes. So for me right now, I have him 5th on this list, but if he can stay fit, he's going to climb up that for sure. So let's go into the locked in starters for our attack. So if we're looking at the left wing position, the striker position, the right wing, and the attacking midfielder position, or the cam, for me, the only 2 locked in starters is Mohamed Kudus and Xavi Simons. Obviously, Kudus is our best right winger, our best player probably now at this point, and then Xavi Simons as well. He's our only 10 right now that we have, and he's been our best 10 that has been in this team right now. So those are the only 2 locked in starters that we have. From there, the left wing, it's up for debate. You could throw in Brennan Johnson, but then you risk playing Brennan Johnson in teams against low blocks, or just a majority of games, if I'm being completely honest. You risk him ghosting and doing absolutely nothing, and then putting all the onus and reliance on Mohamed Kudus. So when it comes to the left wing position, you could also go for Wilson Odebear. Now with Wilson Odebear, you're going to have more of a creativity threat and more of a dribbling effect, or threat rather. But when it comes to that position in terms of goals and assists, Wilson Odebear right now isn't really offering that. And please do not even make me mention Matisse Tell. I can't have that conversation right now. No point, bro. Just no point. But yeah, the left wing options are not looking too hot. You could play Kolo Muani there, but if you actually look at Kolo Muani's career, he's only played at left wing like one time. So I don't know where this whole he plays left wing thing has come from, but he's only played there once in his entire career. So I don't think he's the option out there, if I'm being honest. And then of course the striker position, we have 3 decent strikers that are all competing for that spot. So because of that reason, I'm waiting for one of these strikers to grab that spot by their hands and announce themselves as the number 9 for Tottenham Hotspur. Will it be Richarlison? Will it be Kudus Solanke? Or will it be Randall Colomwani? Right now, Richarlison is a number 9. I mean, he's only our only fit number 9. But when Solanke's fit and Colomwani is fit, we're gonna have some proper selection headaches for that number 9 position. So we're gonna see how this shapes up throughout the season. But depending on who announces themselves this season in terms of that striker position, I think we could see 1 or even 2 strikers being sold this summer to make way for who I have next. Now, for potential additions, if we're looking at the number 9 position, I'm looking at a player like Harry Kane. Now, obviously, this would not happen in January, but there are rumors that Spurs have a buyback clause for around 50-something million pounds. So, if Kane is open to it, we could see him make a return to White Hart Lane in the summer of 2026-2027. So, would you guys take Harry Kane back at Spurs? Let me know in the comments, because for me, I think with the level that he's playing at, arguably one of the best strikers in the world right now, I think he's a player that can play up until he's around 36, maybe even 37. The way that he plays his games, the way that he takes care of himself, he's not really a player that relies on too much pace. He's a very calm, cool, and efficient striker. So I think he can be playing at a top level up until at least he's 35. And I think if you can get at least 2 more good seasons out of Harry Kane, for me, that's worth the price. And then for the left wing positions in terms of additions, in January, I think this could potentially be a possibility. We have Savinho. Now this one just depends on Manchester City. I think that we'd be willing to play whatever Manchester City asks for, but it just depends on Pep Guardiola and Manchester City to depend if they actually want to sell him. I don't know how they're going to feel around January, but if he's not getting minutes, if he's not getting consistent game time, if Savinho actually pushes for a move, we could see Savinho walk through the door of White Hart Lane and be an instant starter for Tottenham Hotspur. And to have a front 3 potentially in the summer of 2026 and next season of Savinho, Mohamed Kudus, Xavi Simons in the 10, and Harry Kane up top, for me, that's one of the best attacks in the Premier League. So I'm looking to see if that can happen. We'll keep an eye on that. And for me, I think Savinho, he offers the dribbling, he offers the assists, the goals will come hopefully, but in terms of being able to go inside, outside, and you have Kudus on the other wing, it makes both winger positions very threatening. And I think this is exactly what we need in this team right now. And then last but not least, honorable mention, we have Ademola Lookman. This one wouldn't move me as much. I like Lookman, I think he's a decent player, but if we're really comparing apples to apples, I'm going for Savinho any day of the week. I think with Lookman though, I think Lookman has more potential to have the goals and assists. And yeah, his first initial Premier League stint didn't go too well. I think now with all the experience that he's gained since then, I think he'd be a player that would be of genuine quality. However, this guy is now 28, I believe. So how long will he be able to be playing at the top level? Let's see. But I think in terms of what we actually need for the squad, I think Savinho is a much better fit. But Lookman, I wouldn't hate it. If he comes on a loan in January, if he comes on a very cheap price in January, I'd probably take it. So to bring it all full circle, when I look at this attack, I think there's a lot of good depth and quality there. It's just a matter of players stepping up and being the players that they should be able to be. The right wing and number 10 position should be okay, but the left wing position and the striker, it needs to be a lot more consistent and threatening. If the left wing position continues to be a liability, I think this attack will struggle to create a lot of chances for the main fact that we're going to be relying heavily on Mohamed Kudus on the right side. And all teams have to do is just double up on Kudus, and then from there, the attack is completely cooked. Now this does ease up Kudus' responsibilities a little bit with Xavi Simons being in the 10, but I still want the left side operating on a full throttle attacking mode. And we saw this a lot in the Brighton game, whereas you had defenders having to think about both Kudus and Odegaard. Even though Odegaard's final ball wasn't always amazing, he was still offering something a lot better compared to what Brennan Johnson usually offers on that left side. So when it comes to the attack, that left wing position has to step up. It has to, or else the attack will be able to threaten on a consistent basis. And then of course the striker position, I mean, it's self-explanatory. Our strikers need to step up and bag goals. Between Solanke, Kolomwani, and Richarlison, I'm not too worried about this one because I think all those three, with the competition that they have, I think all those three can, one of them's got to step up, surely. I mean, one of them has to. If none of them step up, then what have we done here? What are we doing? But I think surely one of those three have to step up. And I think out of all of them, for me, it could potentially be Dominic Solanke. I like Kolomwani, but I'm not sure how much he actually wants to be at Spurs. I'm not convinced. I feel like this was like a last-ditched effort move. I don't think he was dying to come to Tottenham. But when it comes to Solanke, in terms of his overall play, and now under Thomas Frank in a new system, especially aerially, I think this guy can bag goals. So let's see how Solanke thrives under Thomas Frank and the Spurs system. But yeah, man, overall, I think the attack is on a point where it just has to grow, and I think with more time and cohesion, and once they get used to each other, I think the attack can all come together. But it's essential for that left wing position to come to fruition and be a lot more threatening and attacking. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. What is our best attack between the left wing position, the striker position, and the right wing position, and the number 10? What is our best attack? And then when James Maddison and Kulusevski come back, what is our best attack? Would you play Kulusevski in the 10? Would you put Simmons on the left? Or could we potentially see even Kulusevski on the left and then Kudus on the right? What would you guys do? Let me know down below. Be sure to like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace out.